This is Chi-Chi shaking her butt in slow motion, and that's great, but AFK Arena is also great. AFK Arena is a free-to-play idle collectible RPG available on Android, iOS, and PC. You can build up a personalized team, complete missions, level up. Look, he just scratched it strong that they can help you clap enemy cheeks with ease. Plus, each heroes to craft the perfect strategy. So download AFK Arena using my link in the description and use my gift code DON2023 to receive an epic reward. Plus, you'll be helping out the channel. It's your boy Goku, and this song goes out to all my Chi-Chis. And I want y'all to get on the Nimbus and just throw that ass back. Like, Chi-Chi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Chi-Chi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Chi-Chi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Chi-Chi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. I was surprised when Chi-Chi threw it back. I was like, damn, look at that ass clap. I said, go ahead, make that ass pop. You finna catch this Kamehameha. Chi-Chi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Chi-Chi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Chi-Chi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Chi-Chi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. That booty made me turn Super Saiyan 5. Chi-Chi threw it back and made my power level rise. I heard Frieza came back and he trying to fight. I would save the world, but I'm preoccupied. Chi-Chi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Chi-Chi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Chi-Chi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey. Chi-Chi threw it back on the Nimbus. Hey, hey, hey.
You're watching Unrelent Gaming. This is Vegeta, the Prince of all Saiyans. Make sure you subscribe to Unrelent Gaming and push the like button for me. Or else you'll be Hakai. Not Beerus. You know how this works. Make sure you enable all notifications on the channel and watch the entire video all the way through. And don't forget to follow Unrelent Gaming on both Instagram and Twitter. That's enough! On with the video.
So with the story of the events that have transpired within Dragon Ball Super Superhero now over and done with, we finally now make our way into introducing the new arc within the Dragon Ball Super manga, which takes place directly after the events of Superhero, which inevitably also begs the question on what this arc is going to be centered around, and if this story is somehow going to introduce the events of either the end of Z or even Black Frieza. Now before we dive any further into this video, if you are new to the channel and of course have a love and passion for all things Dragon Ball related, including its manga, anime, video games, fan animations, fan mangas, and more, in which would also like to be kept up to date with everything in regards to the Dragon Ball Super manga, the Dragon Ball Super anime, Dragon Ball video games, and any and all additional content within the Dragon Ball universe, then I do encourage you guys to head on over and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications by clicking on the bell icon to always be notified whenever a brand new video is posted onto the channel, as well as giving this video a big thumbs up by slapping that like button down below if you guys are simply excited to see what the future holds for the Dragon Ball franchise. And with all that being said, as courtesy of this month's V-Jump magazine along with DBS Hype and DBS Chronicles over on Twitter, the following Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 101 leaks, images, spoilers, and information goes as follows. Now, as of course you guys can see here on your screen, inevitably during the middle portion of this manga chapter, we do actually see an engagement between Vegeta and Broly, which I think is a very cool thing to see considering the fact that it was mainly Goku and Broly that were shown going at it in the superhero arc. And so this I think is a really cool thing to see, especially considering the fact that as soon as Broly was shown punching Vegeta and making him bleed from his forehead, we can also see that as the blood is beginning to drip, that Vegeta seems to be enjoying this, just as he was shown doing against Granola as he became Ultra Ego. And so it was only shortly after, as of course you guys can see, Vegeta had gone as far as to become a Super Saiyan and not going any further than that, because apparently enough it looks as though Vegeta is only going to be using Super Saiyan to engage with Broly during this entire fiasco on Beerus's planet, which again is set after the events of Dragon Ball Superhero. So while all of this is going down, it looks as though Vegeta is doing a much better job at having to fight off against base Broly than he did in his regular base form, because as soon as Vegeta was able to actually gain the upper hand against him was when Vegeta was from that point, as of course you guys can see, was then shown having to uppercut Broly so hard in the stomach that you can visually see it upon Broly's face that he is feeling somewhat some kind of levels of pain to this, but it is also emphasized that this entire time Broly is trying to control himself and stabilize himself by not losing his mind. We most definitely end up seeing more come from Vegeta and Broly than what we've seen go down involving Goku and Broly, because even with Broly being shown having to look for Vegeta as Vegeta was hiding within Beerus's forest, the overall training between them seems to insinuate the fact that Broly is getting the better hang of controlling his power. But even despite the fact that with Vegeta having to go after Broly and fighting him, remember, only as a Super Saiyan, Vegeta does go as far as to emphasize that he wants for Broly to go on ahead and channel that raw power out to begin with, only for it to once again end off, as of course you guys can see, with both Vegeta and Broly having to cease the action among them, only for Goku to be shown inserting himself in this, as of course Lemma was shown handing off Vegeta water, with the entire situation around this being mainly centered at the fact that even though Broly is getting the better hang of his power to begin with, it's still too dangerous for Broly to go all out by either becoming a Super Saiyan or going as far as to use his full power in this fight, so they mainly end up having to stop that before things end up getting worse on Beerus's planet, which doesn't end up changing the fact of what is going on Earth, because as of course you guys can see, there does come a point in time which Carmine and number 15, which of course is one of the Red Ribbon soldiers, ultimately end up pulling up to Gohan's house and shooting it up and forcing Gohan from that point and unleashing his beast power to begin with, which, just to clarify, it only goes as far as to imply that yes, Gohan still understands and knows how to use this power. So if anyone is kind of afraid that Gohan isn't going to be able to tap into this beast form, or had simply gone as far as to forget how to use this, well, this debunks the entire notion of that, because it looks as though clearly enough, even though this is either within the day or several days after, Gohan still understands and knows how to tap into and use his beast power. But for the first time since the events of all of this having to go down to begin with, Goku and Vegeta are able to finally sense Beast Gohan. Now, why, you may ask? Well, the reason as to why Goku and Vegeta were not able to sense Beast Gohan during the events of the movie, because with both of them locked in a very intense battle against each other, they were both very worn out by the end to even sense Gohan to begin with. But since they're not fighting and since both of their powers have been restored, it was only while they were eating where from out of nowhere, that was when Goku and Vegeta were able to sense Gohan all the way from Earth and onto Beerus's planet, which goes as far as to show us that yes, Gohan is in fact that strong of his powers, able to be sensed from all the way across from Earth, as subsequently enough, as of course you guys can see, with Beast Gohan stepping up to both Carmine and number 15, Beast Gohan was literally on the verge of tearing these two apart if it were not for both Saiyaman X1 and Saiyaman X2, of course Goten and Trunks, talking Gohan out of it, because it was due to the fact of them two having to show up again and causing havoc again that triggered Gohan in such a way that he nearly went as far as to almost tear them apart, until towards the very end, as of course you guys can see, that's when Goku shows up. And on top of Goku and Vegeta having to learn of everything courtesy of Whis on Beerus's planet, Goku now knows that Gohan is harboring this power. Goku now knows of what happened with Cell Max, and it even goes as far as to imply, going into chapter number 102 in February, that Goku kind of wants to see what this power is all about himself, which also kind of insinuates the fact that we may actually end up seeing Beast Gohan versus Ultra Instinct Goku. However, there's more, because courtesy of Dragon Ball Super Chronicles over on Twitter, the following Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 101 summary spoilers goes as follows. The chapter starts with Carmine and number 15 in black attire returning from Magenta's funeral. With its base and most of its troops gone, the Red Ribbon Army is now over finally, but Carmine notes that they still have the funds to build a Red Ribbon Army if they want to, but it's impossible with Piccolo and Gohan around if they're the ones that defeated Cell Max. Carmine and number 15's car gets stuck in traffic as Saiyaman X1 fights off a bunch of bank robbers in the middle of the road, as Carmine is surprised to see X1 sending a robber flying with just one finger tap, but then Saiyaman X2, which is Goten, also comes out of the bank by having to kick a bunch of robbers around, as Carmine is amazed to see how easily they were able to take care of the robbers. As later Carmine invites them to have a conversation at Red Pizza, and as the boys eat pizza, Carmine explains that he needs their help to defeat an evil guy, and in return, he will reward them with money, but Saiyaman X1 and Saiyaman X2 turn down his invite, so Carmine ends up provoking them by saying that they're afraid of this evil strong guy, as Trunks gets fired up by saying that there's no one who can match our levels, with Carmine then telling them that there is a secret organization that is planning to take over the Earth. Meanwhile, on Beerus's planet, we see Vegeta versus Broly, as Broly fires a series of blasts, but Vegeta ends up deflecting them easily. Then he sneaks behind and whispers to Broly in his ear with a proud smile, as I quote, "Are you going to go mad, Broly?" as he takes Broly's punch head on to the face and then says that there's nothing wrong with being angry, as anger is the source of power for all Saiyans, and the only problem with you is that you lose control of yourself. Vegeta then transforms into a Super Saiyan and goes on to state, "Don't surpass your rage, but instead control it." As from there, Vegeta keeps provoking Broly to go berserk in order for him to stand a chance against him, but Broly suppresses his rage within him instead. Goku from there worries that Broly might actually go berserk again, but Whis notes that things have changed a little. As Goku doesn't understand what Whis means by this, Broly soon gains the upper hand in the fight against Vegeta, as Vegeta lowers his ki and hides behind a tree, but Broly takes a moment to think about where Vegeta is and hits Vegeta, as both Goku and Whis are both happy to see of Broly's progress, but now the real training begins, as Vegeta notes that it's good that he's not getting mad during the fight, but if he doesn't, then he can't show off his true strength. So Broly needs to go and figure out a way on how to bring his true strength out, with Goku suggesting to him to go Super Saiyan as well, but Broly says that it's difficult for him to do that. Lemmo gives water to Goku, Vegeta, and Broly as Shilai enters the scene, with Shilai responding, "Geez, you guys are so carefree. Say, what would you guys do if Frieza ended up showing up right now? Black Frieza, you said it was a nightmare, right?" With Goku pausing his water drinking by then responding, "Yeah, it's a nightmare, as he is a bad guy, but he's so amazing as he trained and surpassed us within such a short time." Beerus cuts in and tells Goku that there'd always be someone above him, so he just needs to continue his training, with Beerus responding, "If you can surpass me, then I will recommend for you to become the next God of Destruction," with Goku responding, "But I have no interest in becoming a God of Destruction." Beerus then asks Whis about the situation on Earth, as he sensed danger earlier, but Whis explains to him that a terrifying monster named Cell Max had appeared, but Goku's son and Piccolo along with the others had defeated it. As Beerus doesn't seem to remember Goku's son, with Vegeta chiming in, Bulma said that Gohan was so great at the time that he might have even have surpassed us. Whoa, Goku responds, "I wish I could have seen that. Well, I was in the middle of a fight with Vegeta, so I didn't really know as to what was going on." As meanwhile, back on Earth, Goten and Trunks have almost reached their destination, as Goten ends up realizing that this is the same area which Gohan lives in. As they both begin to worry upon reaching this location, Goten and Trunks are scared, so they don't leave the car, but instead, Carmine comes out and ends up shooting blank fires in the air, as Gohan comes running out of his study outfit and having to catch the bullets from Carmine's gun, and having to then realize of Carmine and number 15 being the kidnappers of Pan. And so Gohan gets angry enough in entering his beast form by breaking his glasses, as the pressure of his ki ends up creating a massive hole within his garden as well. As Beast Gohan's ki is so big that Goku and Vegeta end up sensing it on Earth, with Vegeta uttering, "Kakarot, could it be? This ki, it can't be," Goku responds. As with Carmine then later having to call upon the Saiyamen to fight Gohan, the boys instead actually end up refusing, with Gohan then later noticing both Goten and Trunks in the car by demanding for them to explain, but just then, Goku ends up coming to Earth as he teleports on top of the Red Ribbon vehicle and having to respond, "Yo everyone, it's been a while, hasn't it?" with the chapter ending as the editor note went on to imply, with Goku appearing in somewhat of a complicated situation, is Goku thinking about doing that? Which once again can only imply that Goku wants to go as far as to challenge Gohan, to which we are going to be covering the entirety of this manga chapter once it is released in English within the next 2 days on January 18th, so you do not want to miss out out on everything that's about to take place within this upcoming manga chapter, and so let us know what you all think down in the comment section below involving Vegeta and Broly's training, and on top of the fact of Goku having to learn of everything involving Cell Max and Beast Gohan, only for Goku to end up coming back to Earth, and now kind of looking as though he wants to challenge his son to a fight to see how strong he really is. So again, I want to thank you all so much for watching, everybody. Thank you all so much for your time, to which, as always, if you also happen to be new to this channel and of course love Dragon Ball and anime, then I do encourage for you all to head on over and smash that subscribe button, on top of making sure to enable all notifications by clicking on the bell icon, so that way you guys can be notified with every video that we end up posting on here. And if you're also excited for this upcoming manga chapter, then be sure to give this video a big fat thumbs up by smashing that like button down below. Tune back in for more. Thank you all so much for your time once again, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you down in the comment section below and in the next video. Take it easy, everybody, and have a great day. Peace.
Hello. Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to Unrelent Gaming? Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch. Roshi. Silent Cell. Me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch. Roshi, the fuck? God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell. And we're demonetized. Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.
The Saiyans were pretty weak. Vegeta, the strongest Saiyan working under Frieza, wasn't even the strongest member of Frieza's army. Or was he? People just look at Vegeta's power level of 18,000 and think he gets beaten by Frieza's mid-tier fighters like Zarbon and Dodoria, but with the Ozaru form, Vegeta has a power level of 180,000. That makes him stronger than Captain Ginyu, and by extension, the strongest member of Frieza's army. Saiyans were only getting stronger with each passing generation, so eventually, even an Ozaru Saiyan could be enough to challenge Frieza's throne. No wonder he wiped them out.
To be conflicted within in the idea that we now understand that he fully hasn't been corrupted by his hatred for the mortals entirely yet, but at the same time, Zamasu now also sees the walking contradiction that is of Goku Black, and to see that now for himself, he wants to go as far as to get his own answers by traveling into these said timelines, just to kind of see if what it was that Gowasu was telling him was in fact the truth. And so I cannot wait to show you guys what is about to transpire in the upcoming manga chapter, which is that of manga chapter number 9, which will of course be made available on my Patreon first for all of my Patreon members to see. So if you not only would like to support the channel, but also gain exclusive access to sneak peeks, episodes, and so much more, then I do encourage you all to become a member of my Patreon today, patreon.com/unrealendgaming. The links to that will be located down in the description box below and pinned comment section below as well, to where again, I want to thank you all so much for your time, thank you all so much for watching, and I will say this entire story is not going to go into the direction in which you think it might go in, but I will say this much: with Goku Black now initiating and resuming the Zero Mortals plan, things are most definitely now going to start getting very interesting moving on forward. So again, I want to thank you all so much for being here. If you guys are new, then be sure to hit that subscribe button, drop a like on this video right now by smashing that like button down below. Tune back in for more, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you down in the comment section below and in the next video. Take it easy, everybody, and have a great day. Peace.
Hello. Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to Unrelent Gaming? Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch. Roshi. Silent Cell. Me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you?
You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.
This is the best part of the song.
Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the dominoes and you're laughing. Do you realize the fucking crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
Oh dear. Well, I feared that it would come down to this, but even now I can't help but wonder if Gohan truly has the strength from within to continue to fight the good fight in order to reach his daughter, or if Lord Gardox is simply using this situation as a means to torture Gohan ever so slowly and pushing him more and more until he reaches his breaking point, and unless Gohan can continue to endure and hold out long enough to complete Lord Gardox's 3 stages of hell challenge, then I'm afraid that he'll lose everything which he's been fighting for within the process of this sinister and dangerous game.
Our story now continues back within Universe 7 with Goku, Vegeta, and Broly now being informed by Universe 16's Angel that God of Destruction Ferrix had looked to speak with them, as with Goku and Vegeta shown being hesitant on agreeing upon having to leave with the Angels when Vegeta then went on to respond, "So this destroyer of yours, Lord Ferrix, was it? What business does this God of Destruction have in wanting to speak with the 3 of us face to face within his universe for?" Vegeta questions. Because if that destroyer has anything that he wants to say, then he can go and come back onto this planet and say what he has to say here, with Angel Rizal responding, "Now while I don't intend to sound gauche nor do I wish to sound vague, but, well, Lord Ferrix would much rather want to address you all in a far more comfortable and motivating setting, if you will." Well, what do you guys think? Goku then went on to look on over by then questioning, because it sounds like whatever this God of Destruction is looking to talk to us about is likely something that is very important, especially if he wants for all 3 of us to go over there. "Well, I don't buy it," Vegeta responds, "especially not after what happened with Lord Cobra, so we could be walking into a trap if we go. It's too risky," with Goku chiming in, "Yeah, you might be right, so, well, how about we all agree to go over to his universe only if he promises to come back here into ours in case something were to go wrong, so that way in case there are any issues between us, we can go and settle them all here," with Champa then having to chime in, "Now you just hold on there for just a moment, Angel. How come Lord Ferrix only wants to talk to Beerus's annoying little mortals for? What about my universe, Rizal? Universe 6 is also home to some very powerful Saiyans, including Universe 6's legendary assassin. So what's the big idea here? Does Lord Ferrix think that my universe isn't any good or worthy or something? And so cough it up and tell us since you're already here, because my universe is far superior in mortal numbers than Beerus is here in the 7th. And so what is it, huh? With Angel Rizal responding, well, I must say that while I understand your concerns in having Lord Ferrix consider this universe's mortals over yours, if anyone should remember on how unforgiving Lord Ferrix can truly be, then that person should be you, Lord Champa. For you do of course happen to remember on what Lord Ferrix is like when challenged, don't you? And so I would advise for you to stand down and away from Lord Ferrix's business with Lord Beerus and his universe, for you wouldn't want to go and have him call for you next. But then, it was only from out of nowhere now during his conversation with Champa where Vegeta had now gone as far as to chime right into the middle of the conversation by then responding, hey you, on second thought we'll all agree and we will go, all three of us. That's what this god of destruction requested, right? So then fine, we'll go and see what he wants as long as we get to dictate the pace along with getting some answers out of him as well. Got it? So if you agree, then we'll agree as well, with Rizal having to then respond, wait, so you mortals all agree to come and leave with me now then? Interesting, and while I cannot promise you that you will be able to dictate anything within Lord Ferrix's universe, you have my word that I will do what I can to have any and all of your questions and concerns that you may have for Lord Ferrix to be answered. Wait, seriously, Goku questions? So we're all just going to agree and just go? But what about what we just talked about and how all of this could be some kind of a trap for us? As Broly went on to step forward by then responding, I agree with Vegeta, so we should all go and see what this god of destruction wants from the three of us while also getting what we want out of him. So I'm in. Wait, you too, Broly? Oh, well, so much for the plan then, I guess. Well, what are you just standing around for, Kakarot? Hurry it up and let's get a move on before we decide to go and leave without you, Vegeta then went on to respond. You're wasting valuable time here, so get moving, with Rizal then having to question, well, he's not wrong, Saiyan, but if I didn't know any better, I reckon that you're the Saiyan that I heard that possesses the power of Ultra Instinct that had beaten Lord Reno, am I right? Yes, as I'm sure that Lord Ferrix would love to go and have a word with you, with Goku responding, ah, well, what the heck then, right guys? Well, alright, I'm in, and yeah, I actually am, Goku responds. So you guys over in the 16th universe heard about our dealings with Lord Reno here in the 7th too, huh? With Angel Rizal responding, yes, something like that, but splendid. And now that everyone has agreed to all tag along, I would suggest for you all to hold on tight before we go, for this may in fact be a little bit of a bumpy ride while on our way there. Well, hold on now before you all go, Whis went on to chime in. There are a few things that I would like to make very clear to the three of you that I do want you all to please bear in mind, for this isn't anything that any of you should go and overlook either, Whis continues. So before you all venture off into Universe 16, I would go and advise extreme cautions in your dealings with Lord Ferrix, because even though he may not be as hot-headed as some of the other gods of destruction and can be reasonable, he is also very unpredictable, so your one and only sole motive should be to aim for a peaceful dialogue and nothing more, as provoking him would not be very wise for either of you to go and do, for Lord Ferrix is a formidable strategist with a very long streak of cruelty under his title as a destroyer, so you should only be there to engage in a productive dialogue and not challenge his authority. As Goku then went on to respond, it'll be fine, Whis, and besides, I don't think that Lord Ferrix would be looking for a fight without directly challenging one of us to one, right? And so you don't have anything to worry about, and besides, we have Broly here with us in case something were to go wrong, and so you can go and count on us to be the reasonable ones here, isn't that right, Vegeta? Oh, you're so annoying, you know that? And just what the hell are you even yapping about, Kakarot? He's being serious here, and therefore you should be serious about this too. This isn't a game, and so we will need to be on guard the entire time that we're there, so stop treating this like it's nothing and get it together, you idiots. Now hurry it up and let's go. To which, as all three Saiyans, including Angel Riser, were then shown leaving, was when Champa then went on to chime in. Ha! Those Universe 7 Saiyans are walking right into their destruction, especially that annoying Goku, for that Saiyan's the biggest imbecile of them all, and I can't wait to hear all about how they went and screwed everything up once they arrive in Universe 16. It's like watching moths fly right into the fire, but I am rather curious on what Lord Ferrix wants to go and talk to these Saiyans about, because now I'm rather very much intrigued, with Whis having to then chime in. Well, I'm sure that whatever this may happen to involve will likely have something to do with some of the recent events that were shown taking place around here, if anything. Yeah, well, these are Beerus's cronies that we're talking about after all, and so nothing that comes out of this universe surprises me anymore, Champa went on to chime in, but at least I was able to go and find some closure in learning of what happened here today, and so it's about time that Beerus got taken down a peg, because it's been a long time coming, and guess what else? It looks like his strongest mortals now are just about to go and get it too, and I can't wait to hear all about it when it happens. So no offense or anything, Whis, but, well, this universe is a complete circus, you know that? But I'm glad that Beerus got what he had coming, because now I'm going to go and tell everyone all about it. Isn't that right, Vados? Well, I really wouldn't talk so boldly if I were you, Lord Champa, Vados responds, because did you happen to already forget that it was Universe 7 who went and brought us all back from Erasure during the Tournament of Power? So, well, don't you think that you ought to be a bit more grateful towards Universe 7, with Champa having to then respond, ah, grateful schmateful, that was then and this is now. So just you wait until the others get a load of what happened here today. So it's been nice chatting with you, Whis. And so do go and tell Beerus that I send my regards, along with my laughter at him for failing. See you later, Universe 7! To which moments later, as both Vados and Champa were then shown having to make their exit and having to leave Beerus's planet, was when Whis then went on to say to himself, well, this was quite the eventful day, and dare I even say one of the most eventful days in recent memory, and especially with all that's been shown having to happen here today, and so, well, let's just all hope that things don't continue to go and get any worse around here, and especially for Goku, Broly, and Vegeta, since I don't believe that Lord Ferrix simply wants to go and talk to them, but I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens when they return, or, well, if they return for that matter, for those three have certainly looked as though they have garnered a whole lot of unwarranted attention lately. Alright, now listen up and listen very closely, Whis, because enough is enough, and the opportunity couldn't be greater than what it is now. An unsuspecting Beerus went on to appear from behind, and with those Saiyans gone alongside those other gods of destruction, Beerus continues, I am now finally free of all external distractions around here and doing what it is that I need to do. For it's time for me to go and redefine my limits and go far beyond what I was ever known to previously be capable of, and so now let us proceed and start with the training immediately, Whis, with the surprised Whis being shown responding, well, this is certainly a very unexpected and yet, dare I say, pleasantly shocking surprise, Lord Beerus, but am I mistaken, or is that my signature weighted training outfit that I made and had you wear a very long time ago when I first started training you? With Beerus responding, yes it is, as this is more than just a desire for me to go and improve, for this is now a necessity, Whis. For my recent epiphany has now shown me the path to true strength, and I intend to fully go through with it. And because of this, I've realized something very crucial, especially after experiencing all that I did here today, and that is that my potential is far greater than what I was ever shown having to achieve before. With Whis responding, well, goodness, and here I thought you went off to go and grab something to eat after your battle with Lord Reno, and to go far beyond anything you were ever shown having to achieve before? Interesting, and what exactly is it that you had in mind for us to go and do, Lord Beerus? With Beerus responding, if I intend to become the strongest god of destruction among all of them, then you must be willing to do anything and everything you can to train me, no matter the price that I'd have to pay. And so we'll start and go about this in stages stages, beginning with the training suit that you see here, Beerus continues. And no matter how brutal and no matter how dangerous, don't stop until I have evolved. Got it? As my aim is not only to evolve myself as a destroyer, but to also be capable of mastering Ultra Instinct, which is a skill that has been my Achilles heel for a very long time now, with Whis responding, well, my oh my, how truly wonderful it is to hear you express such a desire for change, Lord Beerus. And as your decision to transform your approach as both a destroyer and to resume your quest in wanting to master Ultra Instinct like how Goku has, is truly, dare I say, commendable, Lord Beerus. And so how exactly do you wish for us to go and do this, Whis questions? Shall we go and start by focusing on your foundational skills first, Lord Beerus, or do you wish for us to go and jump straight into the advanced techniques? And with how you wish for us to go back to the way I used to train you in stages, how do you envision our approach to each one while we train? With Beerus responding, now you go and leave that Goku out of this, Whis, as I'll go and make sure good and damn well that he isn't the only one in this universe to wield it. And so we will start by timing the first stage of my training, beginning with the weighted training suit here, and then from there, we will go and engage in hand-to-hand combat once the final grain of sand has dropped within that hourglass, Whis. As from there, we will continue to engage until you have deemed for us to move on to the meditation portion after, as once this is done, we will resume once again, only this time I intend to battle you within the spirit realm, Whis. As from there on, there will be one more lesson that I wish to undergo, but we'll go and save that for the very end and once I'm ready. And so now let's hurry and do this because I'm ready, Whis. Which all the while in the meantime, when then venturing back on over into Universe 15 in seeing God of Destruction Gardox being shown playing cards with Pan was when Angel Vodka went on to chime in, you know, I find it quite ironic that you'd go and want to use the mortals' very own history against them, especially when considering on how strong this so-called Black Frieza appears to be when compared to that Saiyan, don't you think? So wouldn't you want to go and extract as much as you can by also including that Frieza in this as well, my lord? With Gardox responding, and why should I? This Frieza doesn't appear to be anyone that Beerus would consider an ally to him, so why bother? Gardox questions. For I don't care enough to target Beerus's enemies, as I only care enough to target those who he'd want to deem and consider an ally far more than anything else, Vodka. Now watch as, but then it was only from out of nowhere before Gardox was shown having to finish his sentence where Pan was shown having to stand back up by addressing Gardox and responding, Mr. Green, I don't want to play this game anymore. You told me that my Papa and Uncle Piccolo were going to have lots of fun here, but they didn't look like they were having any kind of fun here with you at all, and so I want to see my Papa and Uncle Piccolo again right this moment, right now, and go home. I don't want to play anymore. With the surprised Gardox responding, You what? You're not having any fun and want to go back home? But you can't just go back home. Why would you want to go back home now? With Pan responding, no, I'm not. I'm not having any fun, especially since my Papa and Uncle Piccolo seem like they're in trouble. And so I want to go and leave right now, Mr. Green. Now please bring them both back. With Gardox responding, oh, well, you see, little girl, it's not that nice of you to go and raise your voice at me like that, you know. Especially if we're friends, because I don't really like when mortals go and tell me what to do. And so now be a good little mortal child and sit back down, as it's better if you go and listen to me too, child, for you don't want to go and ruin this awesome little game that I went and put together for us, now do you? Because that wouldn't be very nice of you to go and do now, right, friend? So now go and sit yourself right back down. With Pan having to then shout, no, I don't care about this game anymore, Mr. Green. I want to see my Papa and Uncle Piccolo again right now and go back home. Now go and bring my Papa back now. In which during this moment back with Black Frieza, as Gohan was now beginning to hear the echoes of his daughter having to cry out for him, was when Gohan then went on to utter, oh, Pan, I can hear you, Pan. My daughter's in trouble and she needs my help. To which, fortunately enough, from out of nowhere, with Orange Piccolo being shown having to appear and grabbing onto Black Frieza's shoulders was when Orange Piccolo then went on to shout, "Oh, hurry, Gohan! We have less than 60 seconds to go to make a difference here, and so we've got to act right now! So now hurry and power through and use everything that you have, because this may in fact be the one and only chance that we have to do this! How's you again, Namekian? How dare you? Understand that there is nothing that either one of you can do that will change the outcome of what's about to happen. Oh, hurry! It's now or never, Gohan! We have to do this! Which within that very moment now, from out of nowhere, with Beast Gohan shown having to emanate and unleash a massive power, in which even went as far as to catch Black Frieza off guard, was when Frieza then went on to respond, What just happened? What's going on? What are you doing, Saiyan? And just where are you getting all of this power from, you monkey? Now just what the hell do you think you're doing? Let go! In which at the same time, when then venturing back on over into Universe 15, in seeing God of Destruction Gardox being shown addressing Pan without having to realize as to what was happening, was when Gardox then went on to respond, "Yeah, well, too bad. Now go and do as I say and sit back and what just happened? I can't see a thing. And just why in the world is the first card glowing like this? I missed it. What happened, Vodkal? Did the mortals lose?" With Angel Vodkal responding, "Well, now that's odd, but if I had to go and take a guess, my lord, I'd say that perhaps maybe there may have been a trigger event that had likely caused the mortals to go and turn the tables against Frieza, and if I'm not mistaken, then I'd even go as far as to say that it looks like something is about to go and emerge through the other side as well," with Gardox then being shown throwing his card out into the distance with Pan having to respond, "Could that really be you, Papa and Uncle Piccolo? Can it really be you?" With Gardox shouting, "Oh, and the card is burning up too! Get away!" In which seconds later, with both Orange Piccolo and Beast Gohan then shown having to emerge on the other side of the card, in assuming that they were still fighting against Black Frieza, was when Orange Piccolo then went on to shout, "He's blinded, Gohan! He can't see! Then we have to hurry because we're almost out of time," Gohan then went on to shout. "This is our chance! And so we have to go and attack him together, Piccolo! So let's go together before he..." But then, it was only just within that very moment as Gohan and Piccolo realized where they were, where Piccolo then went on to respond, "Wait, Gohan, stop! Look, Frieza's gone and we're back! As it looks as though it actually worked! We were able to shatter through!" Well, would you look at that, Angel Vodka went on to chime in. The mortals were actually able to find a way to escape and break free with only 7 seconds remaining, as a joyful Pan then went on to shout, "Yay! There you both are! Over here, Papa! Up here, Uncle Piccolo!" "Oh, you've got to be kidding me, but that can't be right," Gardox then went on to add. "For those two were in no position to be able to find a way back here like that, so something isn't right, Vodkel. Explain right now what happened." Well, judging from the looks of it, based on what I can tell, Vodka went on to then respond, "It appears that the mortals' sudden and unexpected return into our universe was the result of a remarkable power surge that tore through the dimensional fabric," Vodka continues, "as it also looks as though it was Gohan who, in a moment of immense intensity, had seemed to have channeled enough energy to shatter through the barrier dimension that confined them. Which, strangely enough, for that to happen, Gohan would have needed to exert a far greater level of power than the current beast form that he is also shown currently wielding as well," with Gardox responding, "No, but that can't be right, Vodkel. However, perhaps I've been too laxed with these mortals because they were actually able to beat the first stage. Hey, look, up there, Gohan. She doesn't appear as though she was harmed in any kind of way, which at least confirms that Lord Gardox's angel was actually telling the truth and held his word," with Gohan responding, "Well, good, because that's one less problem for us to worry about. Pan! Listen to me! Hurry and get away from that God of Destruction and come down here with us right now! You're not safe around him!" In which seconds later, within that moment, as Pan had attempted in having to reunite with Gohan and Piccolo only for Gardox to be shown stopping her, was when Gardox then went on to respond, "Oh no, I don't think so, little one. And just where do you think you're going? Because I never said that you can go and just leave. How disappointing. And here I thought that you were supposed to be my friend, and friends are supposed to listen to each other, aren't they? And so you're not going anywhere, especially since the game is not yet over. Now, unless you know what's good for you, Gardox went on to put Pam back down, and unless you wish to anger me any more than you already have, then you will sit right there. Papa, Uncle Piccolo, please help me. Mr. Green made it so that I can't even move, and I'm scared. Pan, stop this! Beast Gohan and Piccolo went on to then shout. You let her go right now, or I'm going to tear your head off your shoulders, Destroyer, now! And you shut your mouth down there if you know what's good for her, mortal. Gardox went on to then respond. For you will go and do no such thing, as I will admit that I honestly wasn't expecting for the two of you to go and pass the first stage of my 3 stages of hell game, but, well, now that I can see what I'm up against here, what do you say we go and spice things up a bit by not putting a timer on the next stage that you will both go and undergo? For I promise that it'll be all worthwhile, you pesky little worms. And with how the two of you were shown barely scraping through the first stage, don't delude yourselves just yet, Gardox continues, because the second stage of my 3 stages of hell game will surely shock you both far beyond your wildest expectations. And so I doubt that either one of you will survive, but let's see if you're clever enough to prove me wrong, so the burden is now yours. But I'll go and leave you both with this, so listen very closely, Gardox went on to continue. The solution to this stage is buried within your memory and experiences. So, if you have any hopes to survive, then you better dig back into your past if you can, as you will find the key to your survival there. And so I'm very eager to see if you can outsmart this next challenge, as regardless of your exhaustion, you'll need to fight for every bit of your freedom. And so aren't you both just so excited, as you're almost at the end of our game, so don't break down on me now, because we still have so much more for the two of you to go and experience. As it was only right then and there now during that moment where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super story of the resurrected fallen gods of destruction, the Universe 15/Universe 16 sagas manga chapter number 4 special then comes to a close.
Actually, I'll go and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something with all of our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing. As not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the content that you see and gain access to tons of exclusives along the way, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link it all down in the description box below and pinned comment section. Now I believe it's safe to say that with Lord Gardox visibly agitated, especially after learning of Gohan's sudden and yet very unusual surge of power being what allowed for him and Piccolo to complete stage 1, I'm afraid that the angrier Lord Gardox becomes, the worse this game is going to get. But needless to say, with our heroes venturing off into Universe 16 to go and speak with Universe 16's god of destruction Ferrix, along with Lord Beerus now requesting to be trained once again and wanting to go far beyond what he ever was shown being before, you do not want to miss out on what is about to take place next. So we hope that you all enjoyed. As before you leave, do make sure to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button on your way out, as well as subscribing to Unreal End Gaming's channel in case you are new around here. We thank you all for watching and hope you all have a wonderful day, everyone, as we'll see you all in the next one.
Hello. Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply
Girl, we got a surprise for you. Piccolo.
L to the J. What's happening, baby?
Now, for those who didn't know, Tupac's name in that episode was Piccolo. And for the tie-in and me actually making this a review video, shouts out to me, Big Me in the building, aka Spider Pig, aka TWP, aka Mr. TVWC. You dig. You know what I'm saying? That's why Piccolo's considered a black dude, because In Dragon Ball, you don't really see no black people, but Piccolo's often referred to as one of the black characters on Dragon Ball. And since Tupac was named Piccolo, y'all see the tie-in. Shouts out to you, boy. Go ahead and buy me a hot dog over on the Buy Me a Coffee down in the video description. And be on the lookout because the links down there in the video description are going to be updated. It'll be the same items with new links that actually work now. So I'll be getting my 8% of y'all Amazon purchases. So let me know if y'all want to buy a hot dog or a Spider Pig apparel. Because, you know, that's what we do over here. We sell shit.
Hey everyone, it's me, Goku! Don't forget to subscribe to Unreal and Gaming. Here, you'll find the latest Dragon Ball news and content. Also, don't forget to like the video and follow Unreal on both Instagram and Twitter.
Kakarot! You, Kakarot, you will be the first to turn on notifications and give this video a like right now, or else I'll destroy you!
So with Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 101 now officially in the history books, the stage is now finally set for a new story to be told following the initial defeat of Magenta's Red Ribbon Army and Cell Max, as the continued story following the initial events of what was shown taking place during the events of Dragon Ball Super Superhero now progressing on forward, with our heroes now shown regrouping and getting themselves together. The million-dollar question now moving forward is, will the coming events foreshadow what was shown taking place prior in reintroducing Black Frieza, or will this new and upcoming story instead going to a different direction prior to us having to reach Black Frieza? As a quick little reminder before we go any deeper into this video, if you just so happen to be new to the channel and of course have a love and passion for all things Dragon Ball and anime related, then I do encourage for you guys to go on over and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications by clicking on the bell icon to never miss a single video that is posted onto the channel, as well as making sure to go on over and smash that like button down below. And if you would like to learn more and catch up on all of the previous Dragon Ball Super manga chapters that have led us to this very moment in this story right now, then be sure to head on down into the description box below and check out the official Dragon Ball Super manga chapters playlist for tons of additional content and information. So with all that out of the way, I want to thank you all so much for your time, thank you all so much for your support, and now let's dive straight into the video. As we kick off Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 101, as we now make our way on over into a modern city, as surprisingly enough with both number 15 and Carmine still shown being alive and driving through the city, it was very obvious by now on what they were looking to do and of course what their sole motive was going to be, as number 15 went on to then chime in, President Magenta's funeral was kinda low-key considering on how much of a big shot tycoon he was. Well, the police might have come sniffing around if it had been an elaborate affair, Carmine responds, and so we can't have that. With 15 responding, Carmine, sir, the Red Ribbon Army is really finished, huh? The secret base got blown to bits and most of the troops are in the wind, with Carmine responding, yes, but the funds and the resources remain. Hang on, you're not gonna bring the army back again, are you? 15 asks, with Carmine responding, well, it wouldn't do much good with those ferocious fighters waiting to pounce, but what I want to know is what drives those accursed monsters, and how they vex me. So it was King Piccolo and Son Gohan who took down Cell Max in the end, right? 15 went on to ask, with Carmine responding, well, we made ourselves scarce before Cell Max came to life, and so we didn't witness his end with our very own eyes, but assuming that it was those two who triggered his detonation, then we can safely say that so as long as they live, the army cannot be revived. To which, interestingly enough, as number 15 and Carmine remained in traffic, it was only upon them having to look out and seeing something very extraordinary happen before them, with neither of the two happening to believe as to what they were seeing happen before them, as what they just so happened to have been witnessing was none other than Saiyaman X1 and Saiyaman X2 Goten and Trunks being shown getting into action and punching around and coming in between a bunch of bank robbers from stealing money from a bank and having to prevent them from leaving, which just so coincidentally have happened to garner Carmine's attention, and even having to prompt Carmine in exiting his vehicle to see this, because as Carmine was carefully having to observe as to what was taking place before him, Goten and Trunks by no means were in any sort of trouble in taking their superhero roles once again very seriously, and not only going as far as to demonstrate speed, skill, strength, and of course professionalism, but it was just before you know it, as Carmine had gone out of his vehicle to see what was happening, Goten and Trunks were already then shown having to take care of business that even went as far as to leave Carmine baffled, as not only were Saiyaman X1 and Saiyaman X2 shown having to catch bullets from a gun, knock bank robbers out on down to the ground, and even go as far as to make sure that no money was stolen from the bank and no other civilians were hurt on the street, which subsequently put an end to the bank robber's scheme in having to steal from this specific bank, because with Carmine's jaw on the ground in not believing as to what he was seeing, Goten and Trunks made sure to make quick and easy work of the overall situation by also making sure that nobody else was hurt in the process, as Goten then went on to chime in, "Alright, I don't think there are any more robbers inside either," with Trunks asking, "What gives? Our first mission in forever and it's already over? Man, they went down like wet noodles." "Well, yeah, it's too bad, huh?" Goten questions, with Trunks responding, "Well, maybe we were too eager to kick butt after being away from all that superhero stuff for a long time." "Did you just see those two in action?" Carmine went on to question. "What absurd strength. Could they be the solution?" As Goten and Trunks were from there shown having to hand on over the money to the cops, with Carmine creeping up behind them, in which with Carmine trying to do his best and not having to blow his cover, was when Carmine then went on to respond, "Might we have a little chat over maybe a nice pizza perhaps?" In which that was where everyone was later then having to be shown going, because with Goten and Trunks then being shown eating pizza was when Trunks went on to then question, "So you want us to beat up some nasty bad guy, mister?" "Oh yes, indeed. What do you say? I'll pay any price." "Well, we don't need your money, but any thoughts, X2? It doesn't sound like a particularly heroic mission," Goten responds. "Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing," Trunks chimes in. "The thing is, we help people that are in trouble, mister, you know?" "No, of course. I see," Carmine responds. "Well, you two must be scared of this foe, but it's okay. For you play the part of valiant heroes, but you won't dare face anyone out of your league. Do I have that right?" In which Carmine knew that this was going to be their trigger, as Carmine then went on to chime back in, "As alas, even when this villain that I speak of is a threat to all..." "Alright, listen," Mr. Trunks went on to stand up. "Nobody out there is a threat to us, you got that? And we don't run scared, okay?" No, don't trouble yourselves," Carmine responds. "You're loath to risk your lives, I get it." "Well, I don't really think that you get how amazing we are," Goten responds. "Yeah, you need us to prove it, then fine. Who is this evildoer that we're gonna be dealing with?" Trunks went on to then continue. "Well, rumor has it that he and his dastardly allies are plotting world domination." "A major player?" Goten went on to then question. "Well, yes, as major as they come, and this shadowy figure has concealed his very existence." "Interesting," Trunks responds. "Well, maybe I could now show off on how awesome I am." You mean to my?" "Well, yeah," Trunks responds. "Well, I mean, you'd need them to film us in action then, right?" As within the quickness, as soon as number 15 was shown having to whip out a camera, was when Goten and Trunks went on to then chime back in. "Well, alright, you've got yourselves some heroes then, mister." "Oh, great to hear," Carmine responds. "And of course, you'll need to be well compensated once this foe is dealt with, right?" "Like I said," Trunks responds, "keep your cash." To which shortly after, as Goten and Trunks were shown getting in the back of Carmine's vehicle, as the vehicle was now beginning to take off, we only from that point then make our way on over back onto Beerus's planet, in seeing surprisingly enough another fight take place, except this time, following the previous war that was waged on Beerus's planet involving Goku and Vegeta, this time around, the battle that was shown taking place was involving none other than Vegeta yet again, but this time happens to also include Broly, which really also goes as far as to demonstrate how strong both Vegeta and Goku respectively have gotten since the days of fighting Broly Broly during the event of Dragon Ball Super Broly, because instead of having to look either worried or nervous at the fact that Vegeta was indeed actually going to be fighting Broly, instead, Vegeta had appeared very confident in his abilities to beat him, to which surprisingly enough, it didn't look as though Broly was actually able to keep up with base Vegeta, which goes as far as to show you the difference in their power, at least now, because the very moment Vegeta had gone as far as to kick Broly away, only for Broly to be shown bouncing right back, was when Broly was then beginning to showcase more of his aggressive side by raining down a hailstorm of energy blasts right down at Vegeta, but rather than be showing having to try and escape Broly's attacks or even counter with his own attacks, what Vegeta ended up doing instead was Vegeta actually ended up standing his ground in having to deflect and smack each and every single one of these blasts away, which even gone as far as to surprise Broly, as Broly was not expecting for Vegeta to do this until it was just like it was shown taking place moments ago with Vegeta being shown getting behind Broly and kicking Broly right back down. The very moment Broly was shown having to hit the floor, you can see the look on Broly's face that he is now beginning to feel tremendous amounts of pain, until it was from out of nowhere, surprisingly enough, Vegeta was already shown having to meet Broly back down by putting his arm around Broly, as Vegeta then went on to respond, "Are you going to snap, Broly?" But Broly was not having it, because even despite with Broly's best attempts in trying to backhand Vegeta across the face with Vegeta being shown leaping away, Broly was quick to go right back on hot pursuit by having to chase Vegeta down, and from that point being shown having to wind his arm back for a massive attack, as it also looked as though Vegeta was going to give it to him, because Vegeta was in fact actually standing his ground in allowing for Broly to do so, until, surprisingly enough, it was just upon the moment of contact with Broly being shown smashing his fist right into Vegeta's face. With Vegeta being the warrior that he is, by no means was he willing to back down, run away, or do anything to kind of avoid this, so instead, you can see his body begin to buckle under the sheer force that Broly had delivered in punching Vegeta square in the face, so much so that even blood was beginning to drip down from Vegeta's face and down onto the ground, until Vegeta was then shown having to smile, which is a clear indicator of Vegeta's ruthless ultra ego nature, given the fact that this was the exact smile that Vegeta had upon even having to fight Granola, as this bloody smile by and large was the last thing that even Broly himself had expected to see, because even despite the fact that with Vegeta being shown now having to open his eyes and addressing Broly, was when Vegeta then went on to respond, "Anger isn't a bad thing. Rage is the source of a Saiyan's power, in fact. However, your issue is that you lose yourself to it." As with Broly left dumbfounded as to what he was looking at, because he was not expecting for Vegeta to last this long to begin with, was when an aggressive Vegeta was from there shown having to transform into a Super Saiyan, and literally from that point being shown knocking Broly back, which is also another massive surprise considering the difference in power between them at this given point in time now, because even despite with the fact of Broly not willing to back down from Vegeta either, was when Vegeta then went on to respond, "Do not suppress your rage, but instead control it." To where with Vegeta seconds later being shown having to dash towards Broly and attacking him, and also being showcased to be more of the aggressor in this battle between them, was when Vegeta was now clearly shown having to hold the upper hand, and from that point also being shown having to uppercut Broly in the stomach, so much so, mind you, to the point where Broly was now beginning to feel even more pain than how he was shown feeling before, which only had gone as far as to add more fuel onto the fire in showcasing Broly being more aggressive and more angrier than how he was shown being before. None of this had seemed to have bothered Vegeta, even despite with the fact that Broly kept coming in and trying to attack him, was when Vegeta then went on to respond, "What's the matter? Can you not wield your full might out of fear that you'll snap?" Which to no avail, because even with Broly attempting to attack Vegeta in the sky with Whis and Goku having to oversee this, was when Goku then went on to chime in, "Oh man, Broly looks like he's about to go nuts again. He's gotta work on that," with Whis questioning, "Is that how it seems?" "No, he's changed a bit." Which it almost now looks as though Whis was onto something, because even with despite Broly being shown chasing Vegeta, Vegeta seemed as though he wanted to play the evasive game by seeing what Broly was going to do as a means of a response, but even despite with Broly being as big as he was still as agile as Vegeta in being shown bouncing off of Beerus's tree, which really went as far as to catch Vegeta off guard, because Vegeta was not expecting for Broly to do this, so instead, Vegeta had attempted in firing off an energy blast with Broly effortlessly being shown knocking it away, only to from that point have Broly knock Vegeta on down, with Broly going down with him, until, with Broly now noticing that Vegeta was nowhere to be found, only for Vegeta to be shown hiding behind a tree, Vegeta was trying to gauge Broly here and seeing if Broly was able to detect as to where he was, which moments later turned out to be the case, because despite with Broly being shown firing multiple powerful energy blast within Beerus's forest, Vegeta had attempted in making a run for it just to see if he can use the trees as a means of cover, but despite what it was that Vegeta was trying to get behind, none of it mattered in the end to begin with, because even with Broly shown blasting the entire forest away only to have Vegeta come back out and dashing towards him, was when the two of them were once again shown locked in a very heated exchange, only for the two to be shown then having to break away, with Goku then having to respond, "Oh yeah, wow, he's really holding his own against Vegeta." Yes, for we've witnessed some growth at last, but the true training has only just begun, Whis continues. To battle without losing yourself is an achievement, Vegeta went on to acknowledge Broly by powering back down, but you seem a little unable to unleash your true might. That won't do, Vegeta continues. Well, what do I do then, Broly questions. Well, find the answer yourself, Vegeta shouts. Hey, I know. Maybe it's kinda like when we have to go Super Saiyan, you know, that same feeling? Oh, that's tricky, Broly responds. Water for you, Lemo says, and the water for you. And for you too, Broly, so drink up and hang in there, Lemo continues. As with everyone shown taking a water break, only for Sheila to be shown having to insert herself in this conversation was when Sheila went on to then respond, ugh, it's like you boys don't have a care in the world. Frieza could show up at any minute, and what then? That new black form of his is no joke, right? As Goku went on to then pause by then responding, well, yeah, it's something else, you know? And I know that he's a bad guy and all, but I'm still really impressed that he went and trained that hard to surpass us. No, you've got something to say, Lord Beerus? With Beerus responding, there's always going to be someone or something that's stronger than you, and so keep plugging away with that training, and once you're stronger than me, I'll nominate you as the next god of destruction, Beerus went on to tell Goku, with Goku responding, well, it's like I've told you, that job's not for me. Hey, Whis, did I hear that Earth was on the brink again? Well, indeed, a fearsome beast dubbed Cell Max had emerged to threaten the planet. Really, you don't say, and so how do they beat it, Beerus questions, with Whis responding, well, surprisingly, it was Goku's boy Gohan, actually. Along with Piccolo the Namekian, they led the triumphant charge against that monster, with Beerus questioning, Goku's son, this guy's a dad? Well, do you mean to say that you've forgotten about Gohan? Let's see, well, I guess he doesn't leave much of an impression, so no. And according to Bulma, Vegeta went on to chime in, Gohan may have surpassed even us in this particular battle, Kakarot. You mean it? Well, I wish I could have been there, and it must have been during me and Vegeta's duel, so we didn't sense his ki. Well, indeed, Vegeta responds, the duel which you lost to me. Oh, highlight of your lifetime, huh, Vegeta? As all the while in the meantime, when then venturing back on over to Earth and seeing as to how number 15 and Carmine had now driven up to Gohan's house, was when Carmine then went on to ask, are we here? Is this the villain's lair? Sure, 15 responds. Excellent. We'll summon him out here for us then, number 15. Do I gotta? Well, worry not, for we have the Saiyaman X duo on our side. But my last visit here didn't end so hot. Oh, you coward. To which moments later, as soon as Carmine was shown exiting the car and drawing his gun forward and shooting all around Gohan's house, even the boys themselves were terrified after having to see this, with Gohan being shown having to pop out from his window and then asking, whoa, what's going on? Ah, there you are, son Gohan. And without having to waste a second, upon having to see Gohan jump out of the window was when Carmine...
If y'all want to know what's so funny and I'm laughing at, because, you know, I know laughing at this episode of Dragon Ball Super, because the manga is going ham right now. You just saw Vegeta clowning on Goku. But anyways, on the Cultivation channel, I put text on the video I just made while y'all saw me sitting here doing it. And it says, if you're cold, they're cold. And instead of putting the they are there, I put the THEIR just to see how many assholes are going to try to, you know, you spelled there wrong. You used the wrong version. I know I did. I did it for a reason, just to see, right? Because that's why I said, yeah, that's going to be funny. Hilarious.
And then began to shoot directly at Gohan, but despite with Gohan being shown catching each and every single bullet that Carmine shot, was when Gohan then went on to shout, hey, would you mind not doing that? Oh, wait. Oh, it's you people again. And you're here to kidnap my pan a second time? Not on my watch, Gohan utters. Never. Never! To which within that very moment, once again, just as we've seen be done against Cell Max, was when Gohan had erupted with absolute fury and thinking about his daughter and transcending back into his beast form, with Gohan now meaning serious business, as by no means is he going to allow for his daughter to be kidnapped again, to which the very second Goten and Trunks were then shown having to see what Gohan did and having to duck under their seats, the two boys by no means wanted any sort of part of this to begin with, as the boys went on to then utter,
That's crazy! He's going beast mode like it's nothing! What do we do?
As all the way back on Beerus's planet, as Gohan was then shown having to do this, was when Goku and Vegeta had gone as far as to sense Gohan, and from that point even going as far as to put their food down, as Vegeta quickly went on to then respond,
Kakarot, do you feel that?
yeah, we know that, Ki Goku responds, to which little by little, as Beast Gohan was slowly beginning to approach Carmine, with Carmine trying to do his best in getting back inside of his car, Gohan by no means was going to stick around and having to wait for Carmine to go anywhere, as Carmine then went on to shout to the kids,
It's showtime! He's the target! Go eliminate him! Go, go, go!
But the second Gohan had reached the car door and noticing that Goten and Trunks were behind it, was when the boys absolutely had a heart attack and having to greet Gohan, with Gohan having to ask,
Goten? Trunks?
Whoa, 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 no real names, come on, you'll blow our secret identities.
Why are you with them? Gohan shouts.
What's going on around here? Explain, now!
You see, what had happened was,
But then, it was only from out of nowhere, just within that very moment, as Goku had then gone as far as to use instant transmission in making his presence known, was when Gohan went on to then shout,
Dad!
Hey there, boys, it's been too long, Goku says. As with Goku now shown having to wave his sons down by having to finally make his way back on over to Earth, it was only right then and there where Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 101 then comes to a close. Now, you can make no mistake about the fact that now finally, after having to endure everything that was from the Dragon Ball Super superhero movie retelling, we finally get to now collectively see as to what happens after the events of Cell Max's inevitable defeat by the hands of Beast Gohan, only to now gain a better understanding and learning more about where our heroes currently stand on the totem pole of power, but also seeing Vegeta go at it with Broly the way he did really goes as far as to show you as to how strong our heroes have gotten since the initial events of having to encounter Broly on Earth, on top of the fact of having to see Goku rush on back over to Earth as soon as he found out that Gohan did in fact actually harbor a deeper power than what he assumed he did. What I would like to do now is get your thoughts and opinions as to how you guys personally felt about this manga chapter, beginning with question number 1, and that is on a rating scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being absolute garbage and with 5 being phenomenal, what would you guys rank Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 101 and why? Question number 2 is, what exactly do you guys expect to see come from Gohan and Goku's encounter now that Goku has returned back on over to Earth, which more specifically begs the question on if you guys believe that Goku is going to challenge Gohan to see more of his beast power, or if you simply believe that Goku's going to want to take Gohan on over to Beerus's planet and do some training on there. And lastly, question number 3 is, do you guys believe that this is going to be the definitive Black Frieza arc that many people have wanted to see, or is this somehow going to be a prelude or maybe a different arc before the events of Black Frieza's re-entry? So again, this was, at least for me, a very refreshing start to the Dragon Ball Super manga, only because we've had to sit through the entirety of a movie retelling which mostly 99% of the entire community never had wanted to see to begin with and actually got bored of very quick. So the entirety of what took,
as he said, coming up, I think it's going to be more of what the Dragon Ball Super has actually been, is fan service and then fan trolling. Like, they'll give you something you want, but then they'll do something goofy like retell the whole movie that they just came out with. Like, all right, either put the movie into where it's canon with the storyline so it fits with what happens, and then what happens in the story takes place after the movie also, to where it fits in. Like, all right, well, after this happened, but this was before this happened, so you don't get to see anything new from the movie that wasn't going to come up anyways. But that's how Dragon Ball is. They build you up and then they troll your ass out. You see what I'm saying? They wanted us to spend the last 3 months of the year waiting on the end of the superhero storytelling, just while they was building up the next story, because they was like, well, what are we actually gonna do? Because we put the brakes on them for a minute. We got everybody mad because we going back through this. So now what we gonna do? First thing they did was, all right, Gohan can switch on his beast mode without problems. So He's not like Goku because his potential's actually higher. So Goku, when he gets a new transformation, he ain't doing nothing with it too much because he just got it. Gohan, on the other hand, he can just, hey, I'm going to use this, go in, go out, and, I'm going to have to figure out how to power it up later if it needs a power up because, apparently it wasn't powerful enough to take out Cell Max by himself, which everybody forgets. Don't forget that part. He needed help in that, but, if he'd have got angry enough, he could have just one-shot at the guy by himself. Now, looking at the video time, I don't think it played all of this while I was gone, so we'll make sure y'all got to see everything that happened. Because that would be the video it looks like it skipped. I wasn't in the shower that long.
Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the dominoes and you're laughing. Do you realize the fucking crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
There seems to be something very strange going on out there in the cosmos, but I just can't put my finger on what this could be. There appears to be a disturbance of some kind that even I can feel from way out here. A disturbance to do with time, perhaps? I know that I felt this strange energy from somewhere before, but where? Well, whatever it is, I sure do hope that it doesn't decide to make its way here.
As our story now continues back inside of Universe 10, with Goku Black now seemingly putting these time rings into question, as with Goku Black now shown having to address his angel cuss, it was only upon him now being shown doing so where Goku Black went on to ask, "Tell me something, Angel, am I limited to any world or timeline by using these if I were to want to go into the worlds which I seek? My goal is to find the strongest version of Zamasu that I can and make him as my Supreme Kai with I as their new god of destruction. So now tell me." Well, as long as you don't make your presence known to the other gods, Cuss responds, you will not be detected nor found. But I must now ask, what is your goal once you find this stronger Zamasu that you're seeking out? Why are you in search for him exactly? With Goku Black responding, simple, to make an example of the gods with Zamasu's immortality as a Kaioshin, as with him in the place as being my direct lifeline, I could never die no matter the cause, and so that is exactly what I'm going to go out and find by using these time rings. And I don't see the need of wishing to become immortal when I can have Zamasu at my side to ensure that we never fail like how we failed before ever again. Wait, and what if Lord Zeno finds out about what it is that you're trying to do? Gowasu went on to then ask. Surely someone is bound to get back to him with what it is that you are doing, with Black responding, that little runt will be the last one on my list once everything has been said and done involving all of the mortals and gods across the multiverse. He does not concern me at the moment. He, just like all things, must possess some kind of weakness, Black continues, and I will stop at nothing to find out what that is once my Zero Mortals plan is finally complete. Goku and Vegeta are my primary targets at the moment, and soon after it'll be Beerus and the rest of those worms from the 7th who will die. And as for you, Black Black went on to point. You are going to help aid me in killing off the angels so that they don't stand in my way of complete control, right, Cuss? Though I am to remain without having a bias here, Cuss went on to respond, and I will go and let you off here with only one warning, and I will not repeat myself to you again, she says. Choose your words and actions very wisely, Black. Do not turn this into an issue that you cannot possibly handle yourself, she says. And for your sake, I would advise for you to never point at me like that ever again. And I hope you are able to understand, because you are starting to become a bit too carried away there with how you are handling things. Surely you aren't threatening me, are you, Angel? Black asks. That wouldn't be very angel-like of you to do, considering how you are the one who should be listening to me and not the other way around. And I will not have anything come in between my plans, especially not this time around after seeing all that I saw. I'll find a way if you won't do it for me, Black continues. After all, I am using the body of one of the greatest warriors to ever exist, am I right? And so using Son Goku's power to its absolute peak will be just the edge that I need in order to destroy them all once I see them. You'll of course all soon see. Now come now, Black adds. There is much that needs to be done and I refuse to waste any more time with you all here, he says. It's time that I find you, the strongest Zamasu to be my Kai. And so you'll be coming with me, Black went on to grab Gowasu, you little worm. You're going to be my guide. Anything less than what it is that I ask of you and you will die, Gowasu. And don't worry, Cuss. We will be back shortly once he brings me to where I need to go. You just stay right there. To which upon Black now being shown taking Gowasu through a portal, that was when Angel Cuss went on to respond, oh, what a truly disgusting creature he is. And I do hope that his plan is discovered so that he may finally get what is coming to him. Oh, if only I can do something to stop him. Or perhaps maybe I can't. Which all the while in the meantime, when then venturing on over to a different timeline, we only from that point then get to see how both future Zamasu and Gowasu were shown interacting as Zamasu went on to respond, tell me something, Master Gowasu, why are mortals given the liberty to choose to do horrible things to one another, and if they know that it simply isn't in their nature to do bad things? How come these mortals thrive on battles and wars when they all know that it won't bring them any sense of peace? With Gowasu responding, well, because it creates balance, Zamasu. It's not that they don't understand the nature of doing such things, but it is the result of the free will that they have that allows for them to make such choices, Gowasu continues. There is no such thing as there being anything that is without some form of control and balance. These wars that they wage, it is all a means to fight for peace amongst those who threaten to take that away from them. Every action isn't without meaning, Gowasu. You are judging these beings simply due to the fact of your position, am I wrong? Strip that all away and what are you compared to them? Mortal, Gowasu continues. A god without their ability to reign is simply a high-ranking mortal compared to the rest. Do not judge that Saiyan nor anyone else because you feel like you must, with Zamasu responding, and so then why aren't the gods of destruction more careful about what these mortals choose to do then? And I can understand having these mortals fight for a brighter tomorrow, but what is the purpose in all of this if they aren't gods like us? And I guess I'm only looking at this from a point of view which I seem to share amongst some kind of bias on, and so perhaps maybe I was wrong. But then it was unbeknownst to both Gowasu and Zamasu now from behind them, where all of a sudden a black portal had then emerged with Goku's blast having to then emanate from the darkness and responding, well, it's been far too long since we last greeted one another, Master. That energy, and that voice. No, certainly this isn't what I think it is. It can't be, with Black responding, oh, but I'm afraid that it is, you little worm. My, bravo on managing to stay alive in almost every timeline that I traveled into, Gowasu. But of all the timelines that I wanted to go into, this was exactly the one that I was searching for. The strongest Zamasu among them all. Hello there, other me. Yes, it is so good to finally see you here, Black continues. And I I take it that you've already come across and battled against that disgusting mortal from the 7th, Goku, right? So how is about we cut right to the point and not waste any of our time then, huh? What is this, Gowasu went on to question? Who are you? And why are you referring to me as Master for? You look like that Saiyan who was just here not long ago from the 7th. What a horribly twisted, dark energy I'm sensing, with Zamasu responding, and that there behind him, look. Wait, Gowasu continues, tell me that it's not true. What is going on here? I demand for you to tell us who you are and why you are here, with Black responding, well, of course, certainly. I didn't come here to banter with you over meaningless things, Master, and so I'm not here for you. No, I'm actually here for me. Well, the other me, that is. You see, I am you, Zamasu, the warrior whom you've done battle with. His body is mine, and I am here to restore your sense of judgment so that you can see on why every mortal within every existing universe must be erased without a trace. And of course, with him here by my side to see it all unfold for himself, Black continues, who better than to tell you about these mortals than by, of course, Gowasu here himself. Isn't that right, you little rat? Wait, so are you saying that you are the Zamasu from another timeline, Gowasu questions? What have you done, with Black responding, indeed I am. And so I came here to have Zamasu over there join me just as he once did. Together there will be nothing and no one who will stand in our way. It's for the greater good. So you could either agree to hear what I have to say and join me, or I will be forced to kill you all and move on to another world where another Zamasu will join me. So, what do you say? You saw with your own eyes on how horrible these mortals are, Zamasu. Don't be a pawn to this old Kaioshin and join me at my side as we rule the multiverse together as one. Oh, enough of your lies, heathen, Zamasu went on to shout. You will not set foot onto our land and threaten us with death. To which, as soon as Zamasu was now shown dashing towards Black, that was when Gowasu went on to shout, Zamasu, no, don't fight him! Well, this is certainly a surprise, Black went on to respond after being shown catching Zamasu's punch. Of all the possible outcomes that I could have foreseen, I never would have expected to be battling against an alternate version of myself like this. So, you still haven't fully been taken over by your hatred for these mortals, I see. You are making a grave mistake by striking me, Zamasu, and I will not be so kind to tolerate your rebellion against me, with Zamasu asking, What are you talking about? I'm talking about your destiny, you fool. Listen to what it is that I am telling you and open your mind to the truth that stands before you. Everything that you and I have come to know could be ours, can't you see? I know you feel the need to destroy these mortals just as much as I do, and that's because you and I are one and the same. And so I will only tell you this once, Zamasu. Join me at my side and together we could rule over the multiverse with an iron fist, or die in your own regret of never being able to ever see the day where you live long enough to fulfill your potential. You're insane, Zamasu shouts. Now how could you claim to be any different when you are no better than the mortals who continue to destroy themselves? How pathetic of you to even dare compare me to such creatures, Black went on to shout. And here I was expecting more from you. Now I guess it's true about what they say. If you ever want something to be done, then it's best if you go off and get it done yourself. That's pitiful, Kaioshin. Now then, I guess I am left with no other choice than to finish you off and move on to the next timeline then, in hopes of searching for a better suited version of myself who will do what is right, Black says. And between you and I, Master, I never got tired of watching you die by my hand, so you stay right where you are. This will only take a second, but then, it was just before Goku Black could act upon having to kill Gowasu from this timeline, where Zamasu had now jumped in from out of nowhere, and from that point being shown tackling Black onto the ground by shouting, That's enough! You will not harm Master Gowasu! Zamasu! Oh, well. So, you aren't the coward that I thought you'd be after all. But putting your hands on me was a big mistake there, Zamasu. It would be far too easy to just simply end your life now, and so how about you and I have some fun? You're a lot stronger than the other Zamasus I ran into, and so go on then and show me what you're made of, and I'll respond in kind. To which that was exactly what Zamasu did, because upon having to now create an energy sword, that was when Zamasu was shown dashing on in by shouting, "Enough of your lies and do battle with me right now!" To which, as the two were now shown engaging, that was when the present Gowasu went on to address the future Gowasu by shouting, Hey you, future me, over here. You have to listen to me, for we are running out of time here. Though I doubt that Black will destroy the Zamasu of this timeline, if something isn't done to sway Zamasu's mind into going against what Black is trying to suck him into, then everything as we know it will then be destroyed, and so you must not let him turn. What Black is saying is unfortunately true, the present Gowasu continues, for he is indeed the Zamasu of my timeline, but nevertheless, we cannot have the two of them join forces as they did before, or everything will be destroyed. Oh, so you are saying that this had happened before, the future Gowasu went on to ask? So then how do we stop this then? What is your plan? With the present Gowasu responding, Black is looking for an alternate version of himself in order to make that Zamasu his current Supreme Kai, thus ridding me of my duty by from there ending my life. But I managed to sneak a time ring away from Black, and so you must make sure to give this to Zamasu in order for him to see that what Black is saying is simply as a means of using him. Black wants to use Zamasu as his pawn. Please make sure that no matter what happens with him, that he gets this ring and sees the lies that Black is spreading, the present Gowasu said. Though I understand that Black is far stronger than Zamasu, the point isn't to have Zamasu surpass Black in power, but to simply understand the lies that he is being fed, so that way he can make his own decision on what to do, with the future Gowasu responding, that is if he doesn't die out there against Black, but just give it here, and I will make sure that Zamasu gets this ring so that he may go and find the answers that he seeks himself. And I just hope that it is not too late for him by now, with the present Gowasu responding, and I don't believe that it is. He hasn't been fully corrupted at his core, which means that there is still a chance to change things before it is too late. To which upon Goku Black now shown having to beat Zamasu all throughout the landscape, it was only upon as Goku Black was doing this where Black went on to respond, "Was that it? Was that all of the power that you had, Zamasu? Just take a look at how hopeless and pathetic you are without me to guide you. Together we could become the apex of the entire multiverse. And with you at my side as an immortal, and with me as the strongest to exist, and together we could go on to create the ultimate warrior of power once merged. But instead, you would rather have it to where you care about your precious master more than wanting absolute power," Black shouts. And so maybe this beating ought to open your eyes to the truth of all things. The truth behind what your true purpose is and why you are fitting for so much more than being a simple Kaioshin. So now face it, without me, you are nothing. And so you know what I'm telling you is the truth. There is no need to resist these temptations of destroying these mortals, Zamasu. Then if you are truly me, Zamasu says, then why are you inhabiting the body of a Saiyan mortal? Why? Simple. So that I could know what it feels like to be exactly like them, yet to use their own vessel against them in order to complete my ultimate plan. If they love to destroy each other so much, then how come I can't go and use one of their own against them to seek out their desires, Black asks. You have no idea what awaits, Zamasu. But if you just so happen to go against me and not agree to stand by my side, then I will tear into your body and rip your heart out with my own bare hands and show it to you, so that just so you can see how serious I am. Everything could be ours to take, and so it all comes down to you and what you want to choose. Don't listen to anything that he says to you, Zamasu, the present Gowasu went on to shout. He is everything that goes against who you are at your very core, and so don't sink down to his level and give into his demands. demands. You are far better than this, Gowasu shouts, and you are far better than anything that this monster wishes that he can be, with Black responding, you. I didn't hear anyone asking for your opinion on the matter, Gowasu. As a matter of fact, I think it's about time that you go and fade into obscurity, old man. To which, shockingly enough, as soon as Goku Black was now shown speed blitzing towards Gowasu and stabbing him in the chest, it was just upon with Black now shown killing Gowasu off where the current Gowasu went on to shout, "Oh damn it, Zamasu, no! Oh, what have you done?" I did what I needed to do, and so now you just shut your mouth or you'll be the next to suffer the same fate as he did, Gowasu. Having one of you alive is more than enough for me to see my plans through. You are not what matters to me. Zamasu is what matters. As Zamasu went on to utter, Master Gowasu, why? What have you done, you monster? You haven't fully turned yet, and so I can understand why you are showing much compassion for the old fool, but soon you'll grow out of it, Black says. Perhaps you will come to see this for yourself if given the time to, and so I expect for you to do what you know is right once I return for you. You cannot hold this within you for much longer, and you know it, Zamasu. And so I will give you a bit of time, and when I return to you when the time is right, and so hopefully by then, you will accept my offer. You better make the right decision by the time I return to you, because this is going to be the last time that I tell you, Zamasu. I will not be too kind as to spare your life the second time around. Do you understand? You will either join me or you will die. The choice is yours to make. Do not let the death of this worm be what sways your mind, Black continues. We both know who and what you truly are and how you really feel deep within. Make the right call or perish, Black says. And so now that I've made my point crystal clear, let us return back to our world so that the Zero Mortals plan may finally resume, slave. Once Zamasu here agrees to side with me, you can expect our union to come to an end once that happens, Gowasu, and so let's go. In which, as Black was now shown taking Gowasu back to his timeline, that was when Zamasu went on to ask, what is he? Is this what I end up becoming from my hatred for these mortals, or was there something else that drove me down this path? Zamasu, don't do what he wants, a dying Gowasu went on to surprisingly say. Duh, Master Gowasu, you're still alive! Listen to me, Zamasu. You must not become what you just saw. If what that creature said were to be true, then you have truly lost your way, which is something that you can still change, and I need you to see this for yourself. That wasn't you, Gowasu continues. That isn't who you are destined to become, and so I need you to see this for yourself, Zamasu. But I don't understand. What are you asking for me to do, Master Gowasu? I am asking for you to go back and look into this so-called Goku Black for yourself and see that he is a walking contradiction of yourself. And if what the other Gowasu said is true, then you will fall if you stand with such a creature, Zamasu. This is not who you were meant to become, and this is not your destiny. I was given a time ring by the other Gowasu and was told that you must go into these worlds and see. I don't have long, so please take this time ring and go look into these worlds yourself, and you will find the truth. Please, Zamasu, don't turn. There is much more to you than what that creature said. If you give in to his demands, then you will simply become a pawn who will be used to do his dirty work for him, Zamasu. Please make things right. I can still sense good within you. There is still time for you to change things and not become a monster like the one you just saw. If mortals can change, then so can you, with Zamasu responding, but how am I even to know where I'm supposed to go? How do I know that anything will change? Master Gowasu? Oh no, please don't die, Master. Please, I'm sorry. I've failed you. I was too weak to make a difference against him. Oh, please, Master, forgive me. I never intended for it to be like this, and I'm sorry that I let you down. Oh, Black, how could I have turned out to be like him? How couldn't I have seen this coming? I must go and find out what it was that Master Gowasu wanted me to see by using this time ring that was given to him by his counterparts, and why it was so important for me to go into these worlds, Zamasu says. Perhaps maybe there is something that I am simply not seeing on the surface that they would want for me to look into by going, he continues, and so I shouldn't waste any more time and head out now. And for what it's worth, no matter what it may be, I will get down to the bottom of who you really are and what you truly intend to do if it's the last thing that I do. How could you call yourself me yet use the body of another to do your bidding? I want to know everything that there is about where you came from and what it is that you intend to use me for in order to complete these plans of yours, Black. I'm sorry that it had to come to this, Master, but I will see to it that the truth is revealed to me one way or another. And so it's better to put this on now and take my leave before he decides to change his mind. To which upon Zamasu now shown putting on the time ring, that was when he went on to then continue. What an incredibly overwhelming feeling. It's almost as if this time ring is trying to somehow speak to me and guide me. Yes, now I'm starting to see. Now then, open the gates to the world which I must see first, Zamasu shouts. Take me into the realm where the truth behind this Goku Black can be given onto me so that I may see. To whereupon Zamasu now being shown having to step through one of these portals, that was when Zamasu then went on to continue. And now then, whether it was Master Gowasu who was telling the truth or this so-called Goku Black, I will get down to the bottom of this and see which path it is that I am destined to walk down. And so I will know, and even if this means doing what I must, then I will do whatever it is that I need to in order to see this through until the very end, no matter what it is that happens to me, as it was only right then and there during that moment where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super story of Goku Black's Resurrection manga chapter number 8 special then comes to a close. Now, interestingly enough, it looks as though the present Zamasu now, or at least the one that Goku Black had traveled to, seems to be conflicted within in the idea that we now understand that he fully